I finally got what I wanted. People talk about loneliness like it's something that happens to you, like an accident, like a storm you get caught in. They're wrong. Loneliness is something you walk toward, slowly, quietly, one small decision at a time. For me, it started with noise, not just the sound of voices, but the presence of them, the way people existed near me, the way their expectations followed me even when they weren't around. Texts waiting to be answered, calls I didn't feel like taking, conversations that felt like obligations instead of connections. Even silence felt temporary. Someone always broke it. Someone always needed something. I remember standing alone in my kitchen late one night, the refrigerator humming, the clock ticking, my phone lighting up on the counter again and again, and I remember thinking, I just want it to stop. Not forever, just for a while. I wanted quiet, wanting the quiet. At first, it felt harmless. I took longer to reply to messages, let calls go to voicemail. I told myself I'd answer later. I always told myself that, later. The word lost meaning quickly. I started canceling plans, saying I was tired, busy, not feeling great. People were understanding at first, they always are. Then they stopped asking. That should have hurt. Instead, it felt like relief. I began spending entire evenings without speaking a single word. Lights off, TV muted, just sitting in the dark, listening to nothing. I told myself it was peaceful. I told myself I deserved it. Sometimes I'd think about someone thinking about me, just briefly, and even that felt intrusive. I didn't want to be perceived, didn't want to exist in anyone else's head. I wanted to disappear without actually leaving, practicing being alone. I got good at it. I learned how to move quietly in my apartment, how to close doors without making sound, how to breathe shallow enough that even I barely noticed it. I started going out only late at night. Empty streets became comforting, familiar. I memorized which places were quietest at which hours. I stopped making plans entirely. Birthdays passed, holidays came and went. My phone stayed dark. Nothing bad happened. No one came looking. That realization settled into me slowly. I remember thinking, maybe this is how it's supposed to be. Silence started to feel occupied, like it wasn't empty, just full of something I couldn't see. I tested it sometimes, sitting completely still, holding my breath, closing my eyes and counting how long nothing happened. I lost count often. My thoughts stopped moving in straight lines. They looped, folded back on themselves. I'd think about not thinking, then realize I was thinking about not thinking, and feel annoyed that I'd broken the silence in my own head. Even my memories grew quieter, less detailed, like they were embarrassed to exist. I started forgetting things on purpose. Names, dates, conversations. It felt cleaner that way. One morning I woke up and knew something was wrong. Not because something happened, because nothing did. No traffic, no voices, no distant hum of the city. The silence was thick, heavy, like the air itself was waiting. I stood there for a long time, listening for the world to correct itself. It didn't. Outside, the sky looked wrong. Not cloudy, not clear, just flat, dull, like a backdrop instead of something endless. I walked for hours without seeing another person. Cars sat parked with no owners. Stores were open but empty. Lights on, shelves stocked, no music, no employees. I tried speaking. Hello? My voice felt fragile, like it might shatter if I used it too much. There was no echo. That was when I realized something else. My first reaction wasn't fear, it was relief. I remember standing in the middle of an empty street and thinking, good, finally. That thought scared me more than the silence, because it felt honest. Time stopped behaving. I slept when I felt tired, woke up when I wasn't. Days didn't separate themselves anymore. The edges of things began to soften. Walls lost texture. Corners blurred. Shadows didn't always line up correctly. I noticed my reflection didn't feel important anymore, like it was optional. Buildings vanished slowly, not collapsing, just no longer there. Streets stretched too far or ended too suddenly, swallowed by darkness. The darkness wasn't aggressive, it was patient. I talked to myself more as the world faded, not out loud, just internally. I asked questions I already knew the answers to. Is this real? Does it matter? Would I even leave if I could? Sometimes I pretended the darkness was listening. I'd pause after certain thoughts, waiting for a response. Nothing ever came. That was worse than an answer. I tried to cry once. No tears. No sound. That's when I realized I wasn't being punished. I was being granted something. The void. There is no up or down here. No floor, no sky. Just endless black. I don't feel hunger or thirst or exhaustion. My body exists only because I expect it to. Sometimes I try to remember faces. I can't. Names slip away. Voices blur. Even my own feels unfamiliar in my head. I repeat things to myself here. Not to stay sane. Sanity feels irrelevant, but to stay defined. I think my name sometimes. It sounds wrong. I replay conversations I avoided, messages I never opened, replies I always planned to send later. I imagine sending them now. There is no one to receive them. I don't know how long I've been here. Time doesn't move when there's nothing to measure it against. I wanted silence. I wanted distance. I wanted to be left alone. If someone could see me now, I don't know what they'd see. A body, a thought, a place where someone used to be. I wanted to be alone so badly that the world listened. And now it won't stop listening. There's nothing left to interrupt me. Nothing left to end this moment. I finally got what I wanted. And I am going to have it. For as long as forever lasts.
Your heart beats fast. The pixels bleed. You're not the one. This game will